in education. Went on, he studied a priesthood. He was working in a ministry in France when he kept having these visions, these dreams, these callings to return to Ireland and convert the Celtic people to Christianity. Obviously very reluctant to do so, having lived and worked here as a slave. He wasn't well treated by Irish people, and he hadn't too many fond memories of the country or the people. But eventually he succumbed to those visions and he returned. And having lived in Ireland for those couple of years, knew how the social structure worked in the country. So he didn't waste his time going from village to village telling people about God. He went straight to the kings. He converted the kings, and the kings in turn converted their subjects. Very quickly Ireland converted to Christianity. Within Patrick's lifetime, most of the island of Ireland would have converted to Christianity. And with the new religion, you had all these abbeys and monasteries and cathedrals cropping up all over the place. These monasteries are run by monks. They're very well educated, very learned people. They're anxious to contribute to society in Ireland. So they set up hospitals to look after sick people. They set up schools and universities to educate people. And it's seen as a golden era in Ireland's history. It's a time of renaissance. And it's during this era that Ireland becomes known as the land of saints and scholars. And there's people coming from all over Europe to be educated at the monastic settlements here in Ireland. So life is good here, we're all getting along just fine. And that's right up into the 9th century. Now that's when we see the first of those Viking invasions. Now the Vikings are a Scandinavian people. And they came to Ireland initially during the summer months. They'd rob and plunder all they could. And they'd head back to Scandinavia in the winter to spend their spoils. Now these guys particularly like to hit those monastic settlements because they would have been awash with gold and wealth. And they were carrying out those summertime raids for about 40 years, and then they decided to set up permanent camps here in Ireland. Now this is where you have the founding of cities like Dublin, Cork, Waterford, Wexford. Typical Viking cities in the sense that they're right on the coast. They also have rivers flowing through them. Now the Vikings are here for about 150 years. They've infiltrated most of the country, and they've integrated to some extent. But an incident happens down in the southern part, down in these areas, and it's going to change the fortunes of the Viking people. And that is, an Irish king is murdered by a Viking lord. Now the king was the king of Munster. Murdoch Kennedy is his name. And following his death, the kingship of Munster is taken over by his brother Brian Kennedy. Now Brian Kennedy takes revenge on his brother's murder. He slaughters that Viking lord and all belong to him. But his rage doesn't end there. He decides that he's going to rid Ireland of the Vikings. No small task, because the Vikings are a very formidable force. He knows if he's to have any chance of success, he needs to get the entire country behind him. Now that's going to be no small task either, because these 150 tribes that live all around the country, they don't get along with each other. They're always attacking each other, robbing each other's cattle, doing all kinds of nasty stuff to each other, and see each other as adversaries. Now Brian Kennedy has to convince them